really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Hey, mother... What do you like to do?
Oh, I don't know. Play chess. Screw.
Well, let's play chess.
They give off to Jonathan Taylor. Jump cutting his way. Close to the goal line. He's in there. Touchdown. I-N-D-Y. Jonathan Taylor.
Wheeler finds Claude from the logo.
Here's Halliburton into the front court. Mishandled it, but gets a shot. Hits it. Hits it.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV on 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Live from the legendary and the haunted Slippery Noodle on this Bud Light Blue Friday. You know, you get the best of both worlds, really more than just two worlds here. You get, like I have, the ice-cold Bud Light, which is already flowing. You get great food. Sean and the gang will take care of you if you come to the Noodle. And you've got so much going on downtown right now. You've got the FA conventioners. They've got their blue corduroys from all over the United States. Walking downtown, you've got the Pacers. They're going to track down their first win of the season coming up later on tonight against the Hawks without Trae Young. That tip time's at 7. And you've got Halloween 2025. And my friends at Zinc are here, and we've got Bud Light Blue Friday. We're going to give away Colts tickets anyway. But my friends at Zinc are offering up a gift card. You see it right there before me if you're watching the AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. We have a Colts Pro Shop gift card to give. This is going to be my decision. And let me tell you what, I look pretty good right now as 1992 JMV, but the best costume in the place until we leave tonight will get this gift card right here. How about that? I mentioned Costume Up. I'm looking for you at the Slippery Noodle this afternoon. Dev, my engineer, is an evil ninja. I look like a slacker from 1992, which indeed exactly what I was back in 1992. You see the drug helmet or the scarf on the head is, I think, what everybody calls right now. Here's the one thing. I don't think you can see it because my headphones are on, but I've got the hoop earring in. This is the first time I poked an earring, an actual earring, through my ear in well over 25 years. Easily over 25 years. I had no idea that the hole was still there. But I've got that. We're rocking Alice in Chains and Facelift. The only thing I don't have is like the Polish Prince JMV 1992. Maybe I could go ahead and bring back and stir the echoes of the Southern Indiana twang and the lisp as well. I don't have that, but I do. I've got, stonewashed jeans that are tight as hell, cuffed on the bottom like I'm Zach Morris right here. I've got the hiking boots with the socks on the outside. Yeah, I come correct. And behind me, it's a little, I've got the flannel. This is exactly me. I just actually posted a picture on Facebook, too, because I sent out a couple of videos, and this was me in 1992, as I'm assuming it was a lot of you in 1992. And as I told Jake during the Love Heating and Air Conditioning crossover a little bit earlier, this was a choice between 1992 JMV and Scott Howard. Scott Howard of Teen Wolf, and that was Michael J. Fox. Remember when he said, you know what, Coach? I'm not going to bring out the wolf in this championship game. I think we can beat these guys with me being me. And he ended up knocking down those two free throws with Mick, for whatever reason, being allowed to stand right underneath the goal when he shot those at the end of the game with no time left on the clock. Yeah, go ahead, stand right there under the goal. You want to do that? I'll tell you what, why don't you just go stand next to him at the free throw line? Let's go ahead and make this as absolutely unbasketball-like as possible. But I was that close to going as Scott Howard, and then I looked at the forecast, and I thought, you know what, it may be a little bit too cold to do Scott Howard today. Maybe I can do half the show as me here and then go out, because I did bring the Scott Howard uniform, the Beavers uniform. It is out in the back of the vehicle right now. So, yeah. We can do that. But I'm looking for you, the Haunted Slippery Noodle. It's legendary. I know I talked to Sean a little bit earlier. We are looking for you out here on a Bud Light Blue Friday with so much to talk about, so much to do, and Colts tickets to give away. And we love it, too, because I know Kevin and Alicia mentioned in promotions that we have the football toss right smack dab in front of us today. And the football toss can ultimately get you a trip to the Super Bowl. So we'll talk about that coming up a little bit later on as well. And a loaded show, as I mentioned. A loaded show with Joel A. Erickson of the Star coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Bob Lovell, because we start in unison, everybody from Class 6A all the way down later on tonight in high school football Friday night. We'll talk about that with Bob. The college football weekend, which has IU on the road at 3:30 coming up tomorrow afternoon. Your coverage starts at 2:30 on 93 WIBC. We have World Series game number 6 coming up later on tonight. It is do or die for the Dodgers north of the border against the Blue Jays. 8 o'clock later on this evening. So you've got that World Series, game number 6. You've got that and a weekend that is going to be chock full of sports, including, guys, the Colts and the Steelers coming up on Sunday. Colts pregame huddle begins at 10 a.m. We will get you set. We've got the Colts happy hour coming up, too. Starts 5:30. That's one of the byproducts, too, of the fact that the Hawks and the Pacers tip time is at 7 o'clock tonight. That means Pacer pregame is at 6:30. That means we have to go to Colts happy hour at 5:30. So time is of the essence. You can obviously get with us at 239-1070. You can send me on the text line a message of your choice on this Halloween at 317-239-1070. And Kevin's been kind enough to give us a Colts Pro Shop gift card as well. Our friends from Zinc, again, the best dressed in costume at the Slippery Noodle can win this. And it's going to be my choice. Coming up later on today, live at the Slippery Noodle, Bob Lovell, Joel A. Erickson. I think Don Fisher's still going to join, and Chris Hagan is going to be here. The ice-cold Bud Light, the great food, and the Slippery Noodle is our location on this Halloween Friday of 2025. And keep us in mind, too, I know a lot of you have parties. Others of you will be staked out at home handing out candy. Whatever you're doing, make sure you make this show a part, as you normally do, of your afternoon. All right, we got a lot to hit. I mentioned some of those storylines coming up, including you get the Colts and the Steelers, and this will be a test. I know that I probably short-sighted the Steelers a little bit by virtue of their second half on Sunday night against Green Bay. But a couple of things at work here. One is just trying to get back on the winning track after losing at home. The fact that the Steelers are so tough in Pittsburgh, do you really expect them to lose back-to-back games in Pittsburgh? But the biggest problem of all for Pittsburgh is just how we've seen them a number of times run out of gas. And I thought that that was certainly prevalent on Sunday night. In the second half, that was a team that, simply put, just ran out of gas. Colts have a couple of players ruled out by Shane Steichen a little bit earlier from the defensive side. Samson Ebukam has been ruled out, and Anthony Gould also has been ruled out of the game coming up on Sunday by Shane Steichen earlier today. We also should monitor what should be a very robust trade market. If you watched the Thursday Nighter last night, which was all Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, you saw a Dolphins team that, simply put, has given up. Done. They're done with it. They were done before, but they're done with their head coach. They're done with one another. They're yelling and screaming on the sideline. It is chaos. So what's going to happen? They're going to, I would guess, start unloading. And two dudes, they're going to be interesting to watch from the edge rushing angle. And keep this in mind, they both made plays last night. Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb are going to be a couple that will be worthy of watching prior to the November 4th trade deadline. And as the Colts work forward, I thought this. Now, ideally, you want to go cornerback. But believe me, they could also use the work at edge rusher. And I just don't think this is going to be a trade deadline that's going to cost them a great deal. So the opportunity is going to be there. Now, I think it's going to be tougher to find a corner, tougher to find a defensive back that you believe can give you the help that is necessary. But you have seen, and I know this is tough to come by normally, but you have seen more than just the garden variety, have you not, of rushing specialists? You know, Thibodeau's another one from the Giants. I know he was mentioned maybe 2-3 weeks ago, and I don't know where that is right now. But, yeah, the names as far as getting after the quarterback that you can add prior to the trade deadline, and this is all rumor mill stuff, those names have been there. Not so much the corners, but opportunities too. And then, obviously, you always look defensively in the realm of who Lou Anarumo, and I know a lot of you guys don't like it, and I'm not the biggest fan of it, but you do always look at who has Lou Anarumo coached up before, right? Who might be on the outbound in Cincinnati, given their situation. We'll keep an eye on that. I still feel confident that the Colts ultimately will do something. I don't think this is going to be a year where Chris Ballard puts up his hands when asked the question and says, hey, we tried, but we couldn't get anything done. And you have to hear that cliche of it takes two to tango and all that. I think you understand who you are at 7-1. I think you also understand your shortcoming, and that's why I felt last week and really the last couple of weeks have been so important, because you've gotten out in front, and it hasn't hurt you, but it's also recognizable a situation, really both here, at the tail end, at the front end of this defense. It's recognizable that it's something that you need to address, but you're able to address it by winning by a couple of scores. I mean, really, you can't ask for anything better than that. I mean, normally you have to find these things out when you lose and it costs you a game, but you're going away and you're still making plays defensively, but it is still incredibly obvious that you have to address those needs, or at least on one angle or the other needs. And the reason being is your offense has been so good, and we've talked about that the past couple of weeks. Your best defense has been having this high level, this great offense. We all know this. You're not going to be able to live at the highest of levels this season like that. So something is going to have to be done. And this is just not a year where you sit on your hands and say, yeah, we just couldn't come together on something. I mean, you go out and you make sure you come together on something. And as I mentioned before, you wait next year can wait until next year. The year after that can wait until the year after that. You put yourself in position right now. And I've often said, I think you see the relatables with what the Pacers are going through right now. I mean, you have no idea what's going to happen next year. Change of schedule, tougher games, road games, being more in the spotlight and the bullseye of the other teams, injuries. I mean, right now you got to feel good about the product that you have out there. You address the needs of that product and you continue to build it up, and especially help those areas defensively that it doesn't take like this decades-long football dude to recognize. I think everybody out there can recognize what needs to be done. And I'm expecting the Colts to address that at some point. I thought last night, especially regarding the Dolphins, I mean, that is a team that you're going to fire your coach and everybody's going to get fired and you're going to start trading away guys. That was evident last night with that half-ass effort that was looking like a group that, had they not already done it, you could suggest that they're quitting easily. All right, we'll talk about that in terms of the Colts. Joel A. Erickson with those questions. He'll have answers for them. First and Joel from Fox 59. Joel will join us coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, as will Chris Hagan of Fox 59 join us a little bit later on. I know that you guys, this continued in the overnight, and I probably should not even send anything out at this point. And let me tell you, there's nobody that has been around this Miles stuff, and I understand both sides of this right now, and I'm talking about you. I understand where a lot of people are pissy about it. And I also understand others of you out there that say, hey, I'm sick and tired of hearing about this. He's someplace else. Who the hell cares? I will address it because so many of you have asked me to respond. And I brought a lot of this up yesterday. So he goes on a podcast with the brother of Giannis, one of those scrubs. So he goes on this. And normally that's what happens. I mean, if you're a scrub, you put together a podcast because you're not good enough to be noticed. So you had to be, I'm a scrub and I got to get on a podcast. So, that's what I do. Like, I'm going to get on a podcast because I'm a scrub. If you're an athlete, I got my own podcast because now you're a scrub. Anyway, he goes on the Greek Scrubs podcast, and you start getting a little bit full of yourself. And you have a level of sour grapes, but the sour grapes are with the organization. The sour grapes are with an organization, and there are two sides of the story. With an organization that suggests you put an offer out there, but then once the Bucks decided to make a lot of changes and do what they did with Damian Lillard, they got some money available where they could bring in somebody and offer a high dollar to an NBA player, a free agent in this case, which was Miles Turner. So the Pacers end up losing Miles Turner to their rival, the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, Miles' issue is more with the front office. And if not the front office right now for not, satisfying his needs, I'm sorry, this is the ultimate jilted lover right here. This is a guy that absolutely positively wanted to stay, that suggests that he absolutely positively was told by the front office that he was a priority and would stay. And then after Tyrese Halliburton does what he did at the 7-minute mark of the first quarter in Game 7 against OKC of the NBA Finals, things evidently changed. You're always going to get two sides of the story. And this is where Miles could have just gone ahead and been all in on the organization. This was an organizational thing. This wasn't me. I did love it here. My teammates, you can talk glowingly about your teammates and not create any of this. But he's not stayed between those lines. I mean, he has veered off into saying things that around here people are going to scoff at. Regarding the toughness of Halliburton. And I know, as I mentioned yesterday, before he even got into that in the Scrubs podcast, he went 3 different levels of why Tyrese Halliburton is great and a great leader and is great here. But that is always going to get lost in the shuffle of creating controversy and getting those clicks and getting those likes and getting those views in social media. And somebody that is supposedly savvy like him, or at least somebody around him, should shake him and go, hey, man, just talk really glowingly about your former teammates and say it didn't work out and say that you're mad. Blame it on Kevin. Blame it on Chad. Blame it on the owners. Blame it on Steve. Blame it on anybody but those that carried your rear end oftentimes, if not a year ago, in the postseason, and most certainly in the NBA Finals. Always hold them in high regard. They're your teammates. And as I mentioned this before, much like me, with others out there, this past year's Pacer team will go down in history as one of the most popular and one of the greatest of team sports around here ever. And I know we got a lot of people that suggest, well, they never won anything. So, no, it is going to go down in history as one of the greatest teams and one of the greatest postseasons that anybody has ever witnessed around here. Everything involved, pushing it to the limit in the NBA Finals and all the last-second shots, all of that, one of the greatest teams, most loved teams of all time. And what you do is when you end up saying things that people can, even if you don't mean it, twist into you being hardcore on your former teammates here, this is the response that you're going to get. What he needed was me saying, hey, blame the front office, but say, I love playing there, and I really wanted to move forward with my guys, and they didn't pay me. Milwaukee did. They see something in me that the Pacers clearly didn't. So this is where I am, and I love my teammates. But instead, you say a lot of the wrong things. Whether everybody around here believes you're talking about the fan base or the players that are still here, your former teammates here, and you make yourself look like an ass. And not even getting on social media and saying, hey, I didn't mean that. Now that's not going to save you. And it could have been handled just stratospherically better, and it wasn't. And here we are. And the product of that coming up on Monday night when he makes his first visit as a member of the Bucs to play his old team here. Instead of all the love and all the joy and just being happy with what he brought, and especially what he was a part of at the end, he's going to get his ass booed. I'm assuming they're going to have some sort of video. I guess you have to, right? But he is going to get booed. All because he handled it the wrong way. That's that. He handled it the wrong way. As I mentioned yesterday, I'd been kind of over this whole thing because I understood the nuts and the bolts of it going all the way back to July. But you just continue to make it worse, and you made it worse by going on a podcast, and you said 3 great things about Tyrese Halliburton and one not-so-nice thing about Tyrese Halliburton, and everybody's going to take that and run with it. Hey, that's the world in which we live right now. Hopefully you recognize that. That's social media in a nutshell. Hell, I can say 3 or 4 things right here, and it's going to be the one that everybody out there disagrees with that's going to be the most memorable. But his work is done here, and that is going to lead to a massive booing. I don't blame you coming up on Monday night. And everything is going to be minimized. The accomplishments. He was a part of one of the greatest teams we have ever witnessed around here a year ago. He was a part of it. Did he have down games? Absolutely. But he had good games too. And he was a part of that dynamic. And that is all lost. All lost. And then somebody was challenging me on, well, you know what, because I'd mentioned Giannis is going to draw 4 and everybody's going to be wide open and blah, blah, blah. Well, you know, that's not the way that it works. That's absolutely the way that it works. Well, he was wide open here when he shot threes. Well, he was wide open here, but it was a flow of the offense. There is a difference. What this is going to be like for him in Milwaukee is staked out in the corner and waiting for an extra pass to come to him so he can shoot a 3. Because there is not a willing and elite level passer to distribute. And there's not that offense to play like that. So it is massively different. And we'll see that. And the Bucs may very well blow them out on Monday night, but I can just get you set for what the reaction is going to be with his return. All right, hopefully that is the last time that I have to address it. And I did, and we shall move on. All right, 239-1070 is the number, 317-239-1070. That is the text line. If you want to go there, it's haunted. It's legendary. The Slippery Noodle Bud Light Blue Friday. The best dressed will get this Colts Pro Shop gift card. Thank you to my friends at Zinc for that. Ice cold Bud Light, great food, Colts tickets to give away, the football toss as well, and a loaded show. Don't go anywhere. The stream, the app, HD Radio, the AAA membership lounge via YouTube Live. Halloween 2025. Costume up. Cannot wait to see you. Slippery Noodle on a Bud Light Blue Friday with 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Chucky, wanna play?
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Halloween 2025 is in the house of the legendarily haunted Slippery Noodle. Sean's going to join us a little bit earlier. You got a costume up, man. Don't let me be the only one here going, well, actually, Dev and I, too, going as 1992 JMV. Actually, what I've found out is it's not too far off of the way that I dress now. I don't know what that means, but 1992 JMV, the evil ninja is my engineer, Dev, and you go ahead and costume up. You, if you're watching via the AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live, can win this. And you can see, by the way, you can see 1992 JMV. Also, this Colts Pro Shop gift card I'm going to give to the best costume. Legendary Slippery Noodle Bud Light Blue Friday. Oh, by the way, too, the football toss, which is happening right now, and Colts tickets to give away while you're here. Meantime, on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, we've got everybody in action, all 6 classes later on this evening. And we have somebody on the text line at 317-239-1070 wanting to give a shout-out to New Powell versus Plainfield. That's from JR, and the reason why I bring that up, it's one of Plainfield's finest back in the day. Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk joins us. Shout out to the Quakes right there, Bob.
You're killing me. Well, that's one of the better games, but I'm not sure I was the finest back in the day, but thanks for asking.
Yes, indeed. Hey, we've got an absolute loaded Friday night. Everybody, all classes are back in action. You know what I found out? I found out this yesterday. So we're celebrating the retirement of our good friend John Griffin and Dan Osborne. You know Dan Osborne. Dan Osborne and his lovely wife, Sarah, showed up. And I did not know this, but their grandson, Bob, is Oscar Fry, the quarterback of Brownsburg. The highly touted, incredibly talented Oscar Fry of Brownsburg. Did not know that until yesterday.
I didn't either, and I'm sorry to Griff and all of you for not being there yesterday. I should have been. I was invited.
Well, I drank some for you yesterday, so I made up for your absence.
I appreciate that, John. I really do. It's good. You know, Brownsburg's, one of those teams been ranked number 1 all year long. Mr. Fry's done a fantastic job. They're playing Pike. So, sectional semifinals, there's some tremendous games around tonight.
Yeah, no doubt about that. But I didn't know that until yesterday, and I wanted to make sure that I gave them a shout out because, I thought that was pretty awesome. I know that Greg is on the call of LN and LC coming up later on tonight. Let's start right there. A little township rivalry going down, and then when you look at, I guess 6A, we can start there with you mentioned number 1 Brownsburg, but everybody else got some good matchups, quality matchups on this Friday night in 6A.
Yeah, I mean, it just takes your pick. I mean, you have that. You have Hamilton Southeastern and Homestead, Zionsville, Westfield, Ben Davis, Avon. You mentioned LCLN. What a tremendous matchup that's going to be. Warren Central at Perry, North Central at Decatur Central. North Central has just had getting better and better. This will be a nice matchup. So, in 6A, as you can expect, there will be some tremendous matchups. I think one of the best in the state in 6A happens to be up in the Fort Wayne area. With Snyder and Northrop's not a bad game. I think the big one people are paying attention to around the state though in 6A is Penn and at Portage. Good matchup. Lake Central at Crown Point. So some real good matchups, not only here in Central Indiana but around the state.
Yeah, I should mention, too, number 4, CG at Center Grove and Jeffersonville, Carmel, and Harrison later on tonight, Westfield, Zionsville. How do you view Decatur Central was elevated with success into 6A, and when they finish up 7-2 and ranked 8th right now in 6A, how has that initial season going up a class been for them?
It's gone well, quite frankly. You go 7-2 against the schedule they play. The Mid-State Conference is getting better and better, and they've done well. You find out though, what it's all about in terms of moving up a class when you get into the tournament, which they're clearly getting involved in. And so, regular season, they've done what you expected them to do. You expected them to have a pretty good season. And now, being in the tournament, things are going to get interesting as you progress throughout the sectionals. And the semifinals tonight, obviously, and then next week in the finals. So it's not easy to be bumped up in a class. That's not an easy thing to do. And I think it really gets particularly difficult when you get into the tournament.
As Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk covered tonight, tomorrow night as well. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. One of the games I did outline, and I'm assuming that this has been a banner season in Vigo County for Terre Haute South. 7-2 Terre Haute South and Bloomington South at 8-1 and 5A tonight, Bob.
Well, you know what? The Terre Haute South is a great story. Greg Barrett is their brand new coach. He's a tremendous coach. The Barrett family is coaching royalty in Terre Haute, and Greg's brother coached at Terre Haute North. I mean, these guys know what's going on. Dad was the coach. And Greg has had a nice run at Vermilion, at North Vermilion. He's a tremendous coach. He's an enthusiastic, energetic guy, and he walked in, I think, to a pretty good situation and has made it better. And you talk about energizing a community, and everybody's fired up about what they've been able to accomplish to this point. And in large part, I think it's just the new leadership, a new attitude, and they're playing great football right now.
It's a Bob Lovell with us. This may be in 3A. Well, certainly in 3A it is, but maybe across the board in the state of Indiana, the game of the night. 9-0 Evansville Memorial, and on the road in Hobstadt, which we know this to be true. It's never easy when you have to go on the road to Hobstadt. Gibson Southern at 9-1 right there. It is getting things together and going on this Friday night down in the southwestern portion of the state.
Well, you called it, John. It's probably the marquee game of the night, and people have been looking forward to this game for the entire year, kind of anticipating that it might happen. Gibson Southern with Nick Hart. I mean, it's a big night for the Hart family. I'm not sure where everybody is in the Hart family. John, obviously, is the coach at Brownsburg. Nick's the successful coach at Gibson Southern. Memorial's been ranked number 1 all year long. So this is kind of the lead up to the marquee game. I wish I could tell you a favorite. I don't think there is one. It's just probably one of those situations whoever has the ball last has a chance to win.
But Knox at 10-0, and I mean their story with the McLaughlin kid breaking all the rushing records in 3A, and 9-1 Griffith. I mean you're going to get a clash right there.
Well, you look at the Knox story is a fantastic story, obviously because of Miles McLaughlin and all the things he's done. Their coach is a guy named Russ Radke, who's coached. This is his 49th season of coaching. And think about that, John. 49 years as a head coach, longtime coach at Griffith, longtime coach in that part of the state, and has had tremendous success. The thing about McLaughlin, he's a quarterback. He plays the quarterback spot, and they just put the ball in his hands. It's a pretty simple strategy. Put the ball in the hands of your best player and let him play. Their offensive line is tremendous. It's a tremendous, tremendous team. Griffith will give them a challenge, I think. But Miles McLaughlin, he breaks the record, averaging. And Coach Radke called my show last week and said, well, he only had 485 yards on the ground tonight. This is what he does night after night after night, and so it's a great story, and I wouldn't be surprised if he just continues to roll on and put up staggering numbers night after night.
Got some good matchups in 2A as well. Number 2, Brownstown Central, 10-0, 8-2, Paoli in 2A as well, and Drayan and Wheeler, that's 8-1 versus 8-1. Lutheran Park Tudor, 9-1 versus 5-4. Triton Central, 9-1. Northeastern, 9-1. There's a lot there in 2A tonight, isn't there, Bob?
Yeah, that's well said, John. I think in terms of the class, by class, I think those are matchups that you talked about. Those are great matchups, and it's been that way all year long. You've had, Andrean is really, really good. I think everybody understands that. Eastbrook had the dramatic win last week to get into this particular situation. Tipton has been great all year long. Northeastern, Triton Central, as you point out, those records are for real. LaPel, Eastern Hancock, I think is another compelling matchup too. And so you guys down at Linton, this is a team that's really, really good, John. So 2A, it's going to get interesting to see who can emerge from all of that because it's a really difficult class.
It's Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk, and also tomorrow night we'll be talking IU on the road in College Park versus Maryland, which is a kick at 3:30, 2:30 coverage, 93 WIBC. And it seems like every week with this football program in year number 2 of Curt Cignetti, you're breaking new ground in your sports talk conversation, aren't you, about these guys?
They've captivated an entire country, and the state obviously is crazy, and so another opportunity for them. You just love how business-like they are as a group. Take the task at hand. Tremendous skilled players. I don't think get enough credit for all the things they do, and they're legit. Being ranked where they are, they're legit, and have a great chance to compete for a national championship. Who would have thought you'd been saying that 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, nobody. I never thought it was ever going to be worth the crap, and I sure as hell didn't think it was going to be at this level. And I'm sorry, Bob, right now, you're a year and a half into this thing. That's consistent. And the one thing with Curt Cignetti that I love is he is a guy that, all these coaches say, well, we got to process and stick to the process. But, man, he does. He has got a blueprint that he clearly follows, and then he's got money in Bloomington behind him. And I think he's got an eyeball for talent that right now is either incredibly hot or is just escalated above everybody else because what he has put together. The thing that stands out to me about this IU football team, Bob, is a level of physicality that I have never seen. I'm talking about both sides of the football, right. Offensive line and defensive line, a physicality I have never seen with this IU football program. That most impresses me.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I used to say that IU had to approach it differently. They had to try to gimmick people, be a contrarian in terms of different styles because they weren't able to go out and recruit guys who could go toe-to-toe with Michigan and Ohio State and teams like that. Now that's not the case. Now they can line up and physically play as well and with as many people in the country as they can. They can go with anybody from a physicality standpoint. So that's a tremendous change in what they've been like.
Bob Lovell of Indiana Sports Talk tonight, tomorrow night's got you covered on everything. High school level, collegiate level, what the Pacers do against the Hawks later on tonight. You've got the Colts coming up on Sunday. If you want to be informed and educated, Bob Lovell has you covered. Every Friday right here at 3:30 on The Fan as well. Thank you, Bob.
John, thanks for having me. Have a great weekend.
Bob Lovell on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Hey, I love this. Text line 317-239-1070. JMV, shout out to Avon and BD. Go Angry Birds. That's Matt and Avon. James, this is my favorite. You ready? I don't know how this got in the mix. I don't know if it's because Hammer and Nigel are good friends of mine. Are you ready for this, James?
Hit me.
This is from the text line at 317-239-1070. Nigel, I love you on the show, but you suck as a lead. Is Hammer not on with Nigel today? Is he still on vacation?
I'm not sure. I was in the studio the entire time, so I didn't see either one of them.
We have not had a pre-show. For those of you that don't know, Hammer and Nigel and I have, when I'm in the building and doing shows in studio, we have pre-show meetings that start at about 2:30 leading up to 3 o'clock. And I haven't been in studio here the past couple of days, so I don't know. Nigel, I love you on the show, but you suck as a lead. I don't know who sent me that, but I'm going to send this directly to Nigel right here and get his response. It's outstanding. JMV, I didn't know this either, James. Bob Lovell has been getting national attention here lately. Was it Clinton Yates, who, by the way, is no friend of mine? He is not a fan of mine whatsoever. I think it was Skids that told me that Clinton Yates gave Bob some national attention. We love Bob Lovell here. We love the Slippery Noodle. It's legendary. It's haunted. It's Halloween 2025. I want you to costume up because I am going to give away to the best costume, and it sure as hell may be me with 1992 JMV. This Colts Pro Shop gift card right here. We've got Colts tickets to give away. It's a Bud Light Blue Friday downtown at the Slippery Noodle with Hagen, Joel Erickson, Don Fisher. And remember, we're 30 minutes short on this show because we have to get into Colts happy hour and then Pacer pregame against the Hawks on this Halloween night at Gainbridge Fieldhouse 2 coming up. So get here. Ice cold Bud Light, great food on a Friday with 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
You do. Don't fall asleep.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
What do you rank the original Wes Craven classic, A Nightmare on Elm Street, with the greatest horror films of all time? James, are you a horror film guy?
I am, and I love the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
Do you like which one was the best? Was it the scene with the tongue on the phone on the phone with what's her name, Heather Landekamp?
Yeah, Heather Landekamp. That's the actress's name. Yeah, that's a great. I mean, Johnny Depp getting blended essentially. That's always an iconic scene. So I just love that movie.
She had some straight out '80s chick eyebrows like crazy there.
Yes,
too,
she
didn't she
did. The hair was
Those
intense
things
back
were
then.
Those things were thick. 1984, the classic. So you guys could tell me this as well. That is the text line if you want to go there, 317-239-1070. The greatest horror films of all time, given this is Halloween 2025, as we celebrate at the haunted Slippery Noodle on a Bud Light Blue Friday downtown. Costume up. I got to see some costumes. I'm going to give this Colts Pro Shop gift card to me because by far I'm it. Costume up. Got a gift card for you. You can win some Colts tickets and more. Halloween afternoon 2025 at the haunted Slippery Noodle. Hagen, Jolie, Erickson coming up at the top. Don Fisher, I thought, is in the midst of a flight, so he's going to be unavailable for us in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll see what happens there. Maybe you and I yip-yapping coming up after 5. Meantime, 239-1070. Anthony is up first on this afternoon. Happy Halloween to you, Anthony. How are you?
Well, John, happy Halloween to you, my friend. So quick sidebar. This is not why I called. I know about the beef with the clowns from the Ravens, and I know about the beef with Schefter. What's up with the beef with Clinton Yates, man?
He got after me once, but this was like years ago. And I think it was SPT, Sean Patrick Turley, or maybe it was Kevin Kuntz that reminded me of this. He was disparaging of Indy, of downtown Indy, and I told him to shove it up his rear end, and I think he referenced me as, I think he said, this is how I know I'm dealing with a douchebag. He said to me on social media, he said, "You don't want this smoke, turbo."
Oh, God.
And I thought, man, I would whip your ass. So, I don't want your smoke. Yeah, you really scare me there. So, that's been like
funny.
7 or 8 years ago. Yeah.
I didn't catch that one. All right, that's interesting. Well, of all the clowns on their airway, I kind of thought he was halfway decent. But if he's got a problem with my guy John,
no. I don't. We no longer have a problem. That's like 7 or 8. That was like the fat me too. So I've probably been out of shape about something. So who knows? But this is a new me now, Anthony.
I love it. I love it. Good for you, brother. Let's get on this Turner topic, though, man, real quick, because I know you're my guy. And I called you, when we were in the finals, and I said, he's going to be the difference between us winning and losing. And he was, right?
Yeah, he was.
Let's just be honest. So
because he sucked, yeah.
Right, because he sucked. And the arrogance of him is one thing. The original comments, I went back and forth on it. I was like, I get it. He's salty. But these comments he made yesterday, man, like, you said he said a few great things about Tyrese. I mean, I wouldn't even go far to say what he said was great. He commented that he was like a great family man, and like they were all
great leader. He said a great leader for the team. I think that speaks highly about how he is. Yeah.
He should have said he got my ass paid. Basically, is what he should have said. You're right, man. Like there's something to that scorn lover thing because, like, brother. Oh man, I'm so fired up.
No, hey, Anthony, man.
I did not want them to play a tribute video after what he said originally. I was back and forth on it. Now I hope they do some sappy, crappy video, and it's all of his just horrific, negative plays, and we can all boo with him together.
Well, if he would have just been out of shape and had sour grapes, Anthony, on the front office, everybody would understand because of the history. They tried to trade him every single year, and they signed DeAndre Ayton to an offer, all this stuff. And I think everybody would understand. But when you throw with words your former teammates that carried you, and you mentioned the reason why he got this deal and was thought so highly by the Bucks was because of the presence of Tyrese Halliburton. That's what changed things completely.
No contract for Miles ever.
Right.
Miles still a middle of the road, not top 15 big man in the NBA if Tyrese Halliburton ever comes to Indianapolis. And
100%.
You always had his back. So for to hear these things come from you, man, I know it's whack, man. What he's saying and the way he's talking about Tyrese, like he's the fake tough guy. He's the Lego man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it's almost like thank you, Anthony, for the call. He was kind of looking in the mirror. Hey, James. So I'm JMV 92 right here. Look at this watch. If you're watching via the AAA membership lounge via YouTube Live, this is actually probably earlier than 1992. I have a Guess watch that is on right now. Hey, listen, that's why if I'm the only one that's going to be in costume down here, I'm going to give this Colts Pro Shop gift card to me. I think I'm deserving of it. The efforts in which I have gone to be 1992 JMV at the Slippery Noodle Bud Light Blue Friday. Costume up. We've got you covered here. And we've got Colts tickets to give away with Joel A. Erickson and Chris Hagan coming up after 4. And this reminder, the spreadability of Windschuler's for 2025 in the fall and the football season. Original sharp cheddar, bacon and cheddar, and jalapeno pepper. You can find it at your favorite Meijer location. I'm sure of that. Gordon's Food Service. I'm sure of that. And also Neiman's Harvest Market in Carmel. They have everything you need, including the incredibly elusive jalapeno pepper. You can find it, the spreadability of Windschuler's. Joel A. Erickson, the Colts injuries, and a matchup in the Steel City coming up on Sunday from the Star. Joel joins us next.
No. Be afraid. Be very afraid.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
It is haunted. It's legendary. It's the Slippery Noodle Bud Light Blue Friday. AAA Membership Lounge via YouTube Live. The costume winner, if you costume up, and I select you this Colts Pro Shop gift card. If not, I think my costume is the best, and I'm going to go with me. On-site engineer is Dev. Back to the studio is James. Thank you all for joining us. We've got a Bud Light Blue Friday with Colts tickets to give away in the 4 o'clock hour, and a lot for you coming up as well on this Halloween 2025. Remember, the Pacers tip at 7 tonight, meaning 6:30 pregame show, meaning we start at 5:30 with the Colts happy hour. So just make sure you're fully understood of that scenario as well. JMV Takeover tomorrow night. We've got the Colts pregame huddle coming up on Sunday morning, leading you to the matchup with the Colts in Pittsburgh. Coming up on Sunday afternoon in Pittsburgh, 10 a.m. your coverage begins coming up on Sunday morning with 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. Yeah, costume up, and you could win this Colts Pro Shop gift card from our friends at Zinc. Meantime, of the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline, he is joining us from the Indy Star, First and Joel on Fox 59, and the guy that normally talks to him on Fox 59 said he was going to be late, and he was very accurate, Joel, about that. He is late. Chris Hagan is yet to be here. He is late. Hey, do you have a favorite horror movie? We were talking about that, given the fact it's Halloween today. A favorite scary movie, a favorite horror movie. Anything stand out?
I'm not the biggest fan of horror movies, to be honest. But
yeah,
if I had to pick one, I would go with Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, because my dad used to. I was the oldest, and my dad used to wait until everybody else was in bed and be like, "Okay, we're going to watch something." And he'd seen Alfred Hitchcock Psycho a bunch of times, and he would, like, you know how Alfred Hitchcock plays the scary music through the whole movie?
Yeah.
He would scream at parts where nothing was going on and watch me fall all over myself, and then laugh.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I love that too. Now, was your dad a Hitchcock fan in general?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. He liked all of the stuff from that era. Rear Window and all that stuff.
My favorite Hitchcockian film was North by Northwest with Cary Grant. And, you know, I don't know, I guess people probably know this, that North by Northwest, you had some moments in which it was taking place in Northwest Indiana off of Highway 41 back in the day with Cary Grant.
I did not realize that. That's interesting.
Great film, North by Northwest, and that's probably my favorite right there. Yeah, I like that because there was a television show on Channel 4, which is now CBS 4, but it was independent, and really back before we had satellite and we could get cable, we got 4 channels, and Channel 4, WTTV, was the go-to for incredible original programming, Joel, around here. This is long before you got here. And there was a character known as Sammy Terry that hosted a Friday night and a Saturday night back-to-back, a double feature of horror movies. And oftentimes it was Hitchcock, and oftentimes it was, 60s, early 70s kind of schlock horror films with Christopher Lee or Peter Cushing, and it is still in my memory as some of the greatest moments in film. And it was like these films, you go back now and you go, God, how in the world was I scared about that? But, man, when you're 10 years old, that scares the hell out of you, buddy. It does.
Yeah, there's that piece of it, although I will say this. As I've gotten older, I have not come around on any of the scary movies. I always figure, I don't like being scared. Why would I want to do it on purpose?
Well, I will tell you this. I like the suspense. Like Halloween 1978 is my all-time favorite. I don't want the torturous, hostile Saw bullcrap, and I don't like that. I like the suspenseful stuff. And John Carpenter's original Halloween is by far the greatest of all time because there was no blood and there was no gore. There was just suspense. And much like Jaws that we saw with Spielberg in 75, a lot of that suspense was built because of the background music. And I just think that can be a lost art.
If you count Jaws as a horror instead of a thriller, I'd probably have to go Jaws.
Yeah.
I think that's
thriller,
probably more in it's probably more in the thriller category, right?
Yeah, thriller. Yeah, because when I was growing up and you watched Jaws, it came out in 1975. Hell, you were afraid to swim in a pond or anything, any body of water. You're afraid to go in because of that. And even with Bruce, the Jaws shark that was breaking down and looked mechanical and looked incredibly unreal now by, I guess, today's standards. Back then, that scared the hell out of you, and it scared people. People didn't go in the water because of that.
I think the fact that they couldn't use the animatronic ended up being better for the movie because
correct.
You don't see the shark. But
yes.
the Quint scene was stuck with me forever. That was another one I watched with my dad, and Quint getting his when he goes into the shark's mouth, that stuck with me for a long time.
Yes. And I also know that Robert Shaw was probably drunk as hell in that scene, too, which is also incredibly awesome. You're right. You're right about the suspense. The times that are the greatest of Jaws are the ones in which you don't see the shark. You just hear the music. That's the best.
Yeah, and Robert Shaw doing the monologue about the Indianapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Just absolutely terrifying you the whole time, thinking about what it would be like to be in the water. Like I'm with you. I'm not necessarily from the era that Jaws came out, but my dad was, like I said, big on movies from the 70s and 80s, and I watched it, and I still don't like to be too far out between the sandbars when we go to the beach.
No, seriously, that will always sit with you as well. And it certainly did back then when so much more was unknown about that. Joel A. Erickson on this Halloween as we're live on a Bud Light Blue Friday at the Slippery Noodle downtown on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. We're hoping that the Colts look much less scary than any of these films we're talking about coming up on Sunday at a venue, by the way, Joel, that has been incredibly – it's been a horror show for them over the years there.
It has. I actually have a trivia question for you, though. We looked this up.
Okay.
Do you remember who the starting offensive tackles were the last time the Colts played in Pittsburgh in 2020?
Oh my. 2020.
This is going to blow your mind.
This
is going to blow your mind.
I don't. Who was it?
One of them on the right side was Will Holden.
Holy crap.
Because Braden Smith was out due to a COVID-19 test, because that was before everything, And the left tackle was Chaz Green.
I did not remember that. Holy crap, Joel. Well done on the research right there. That's nuts. Did they stop a nosebleed in that game? Good Lord Almighty.
Phillip Rivers, who famously got the ball out of his hand very fast, was sacked 5 times in that game. So your answer is no.
Man, it's funny you mention that too, because that's exactly what you think about with the Steelers. But what I think about now of the Steelers is what we kind of witnessed in the second half on Sunday night against Green Bay. It's a team that has all that name recognition as they had back then. Great, probably going to be some future Hall of Famers there, but guys that may not consistently be able to get it done and will wear down in the second half. I thought that's what we saw against the Packers on Sunday. And against a team like the Colts that offensively will wear you down, I don't think that bodes well at all for the Steelers.
No, when you look at this matchup on paper, Pittsburgh is you think Pittsburgh, you think defense, but this is not that. This is not those teams. This is actually a really, really bad, one of the worst in the league secondaries and passing attacks in terms of the way you're looking at it. I think one of the other things is you think oh, well, they've got T.J. Watt. You got to be worried about T.J. Watt. Well, the thing about T.J. Watt is he tends to line up on one side of the formation, and we saw that with Max Crosby, and Colts have done very well against guys like that, So, and also they're just not doing much in terms of keeping people from throwing it. They're one of the worst teams in the league against tight ends, and you think, okay, it's a big Tyler Warren day. But the flip side of that is they're also terrible against wide receivers.
Yeah.
So any Colts receiver.
Hey, Joel, I mentioned this, and I want to see if you're along for the ride with me on that. Joel Erickson of the Indy Star and First and Joel on Fox 59. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. I thought you got the best of both worlds, really, in the last two games because the Colts' offense was so elite. They got out to a lead where you weren't going to track down. And what it did, it was you were able to win like that going away, but also understand and notice defensively you needed some trade deadline work to be done. Normally in those situations, you kind of find that stuff out when your ass loses, but not when you win by 2 touchdowns. I thought the last 2 weeks we saw the best of both worlds for Chris Ballard and company to go to work in what is necessary defensively prior to the trade deadline coming up on November the 4th. Do you expect that to happen?
I know they're working at it. I know they have been trying to make some moves in terms of getting somebody who can help this defense, but I think you can kind of see it right now throughout the league. If you look at who was traded this week, it was kind of spare parts, is the way I would put it in terms of the guys the New England Patriots traded. So I think for just the entire league is kind of waiting to see, are the prices going to come down on what people are charging? But yes, I know they're trying to make moves right now, and it just comes down to whether or not those prices will come down.
See, I thought that, and maybe this was just looking at Roger McCreary, which is probably not the greatest example to make here, but I thought the prices didn't seem that high to me. I guess, especially for a team like the Colts of 7-1, and I mean, really, you know what you need, so go out and get it. I didn't think that the prices seemed as, I guess, robust as what they might believe right now. What exactly are they looking for to part with? What's a good price tag for them to make a move of significance?
The thing about it is, like, McCreary is a slot cornerback, right? And that, from a value standpoint, that does knock his value down over the course of what you're going. Whereas the Colts really need outside cornerback and they need pass rusher, edge rusher. And those positions other teams are gonna charge a little bit more for, unless it's somebody that they're kind of just getting rid of. But I don't know in the pass rush if you're just adding a guy to add a guy like a Roger McCreary. I think in the pass rush you have to get somebody that you feel takes your pass rush to the next level, because they have, starting caliber edge rush, defensive ends. Do they have somebody who's going to take their pass rush to a different level, I think is the big question. And then at corner, outside guys, like I said, they generally cost more than slot guys, which is why you've seen some slot guys kind of come off the board, Michael Carter from the Jets, but you haven't really seen the outside moves as much.
To Joel Erickson of the Star and First and Joel on Fox 59. He's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. The matchup with the Steelers coming up on Sunday. This is some unprecedented offense that we have seen, and we lived through the Manning era. We've gone through at least kind of that Comet of the Luck era. What's most impressed you just about not the consistent offense, but the consistent high/elite level of this offense we have seen out to a 7-1 start for the squad?
I think it's the chunk plays in the passing game. That's the thing that Daniel Jones supposedly couldn't do. Supposedly, Daniel Jones couldn't get the ball down the field. Supposedly, he was, too limited in that category and wasn't going to be able to really help you out in that way. Whereas they don't necessarily always hit the deep ball, though. When they have Alec Pierce, they pretty much always do hit at least one deep ball. But they've hit a lot of 25, 30, 17, 19 yards where you're getting 2 first downs at once, basically. they just keep finding ways to get people downfield. Some of that is Tyler Warren. Some of that is just finding different guys open and kind of pushing it down the field a little bit and giving them a chance to run.
Yeah, it is the thing that amazes me the most is the lack of a 100-yard receiver. I mean, normally when you're talking about exploits of an offense at this elite level, this unprecedented level here, especially going over a Manning era, you're thinking, man, somebody's got to be dominant. But they spread the wealth around and keep everybody happy like nobody's business. It is incredible.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is I think it probably makes it a little bit easier on Shane Steichen and company. You know, they don't have to find ways to hide a guy in the slot because everybody knows the ball is going to him. They don't necessarily have to, emphasize one thing over the other. They can just call plays that are good for the coverage that they're seeing, and they don't have to worry about that stuff as much because they've got guys at every position who can make the play for them.
Yeah, it has been out. It's everybody, too, that has been outstanding. You know, it's funny, too, Joel. Like, we had heard that Daniel Jones didn't have a deep ball, and he may not have the deepest of balls and throws in this case, but, man, Alec Pierce makes it happen. And, Alec Pierce is a guy, much like we've seen with Jonathan Taylor with his exploits, at the highest level when talking about MVPs. These guys have rounded their game into form where they're just not these one-trick pony type of guys anymore. I think that's what stands out with both Taylor and Pierce is how they have rounded out into becoming complete players at their respective positions.
Yeah, Alec Pierce has talked about that for a while now, that he wanted to be more than just a deep threat and wanted to prove to the coaching staff that they could use him in different ways. And they really have. They really have been able to do that. I think about that play he made to essentially end the game against the Chargers. That's a box them out 10 yards down the field, have to make a contested catch. And you think about it, the stuff that makes him great when the ball's in the air on a deep ball is also the kind of stuff that can work in those situations. You have the guy, boxed out with your body, you make a tough hands catch, and you hold on to it as you go to the ground. They hadn't used him like that a ton in the course of his career. The other thing is some of those 20-yard passes he's been catching are huge too, and those aren't necessarily deep ball things. His releases off the line, I think in the Denver game, really stuck out to me as, okay, he's taking a step forward because he beat Patrick Surtain a couple times clean off the line, and nobody does that to Patrick Surtain.
So your colleague from Fox 59, Joel, had just arrived. I love your costume, though. Hey, Joel, his costume, he's going as Chris Ballard because he's rocking Patagonia.
Actually, I came as Fat JMV. That's my costume.
Fat JMV.
It's a throwback.
Fat JMV.
Who are you? Are you Axl Rose?
No, I'm JMV 1992.
Oh.
This is me.
Okay.
And my Axl Rose.
Glad I didn't meet you then. I don't know if
you
wore a bandana on your head.
You know how much strange I got looking like this back then? Good Lord.
I'll reserve my wise-ass comments for off-air.
Thank you very much.
You wore a bandana on your head like that back in the old days?
Sometimes I didn't want to do my hair.
I got to be careful. I almost cussed twice already. Hey, Joel, I heard you coming in. I heard you guys talking. And it is funny, each week when we start talking about concerns and problems, it's been hard to find. So now we're to the point where we're just, instead of talking about ways to win a game, we're starting to talk about ways to win the division and ways to try to get a 1 or 2 seed. So it's so funny how this thing has transformed since back when we were talking in the heated days up in Westfield.
I know that I was on a Steelers podcast earlier today, and they said, so what's the weakness in this offense? And I was like, if someone gets hurt, it's kind of, they suggested in Pittsburgh, they were like, Daniel Jones might hold on to the ball a little too long. I was like, no, that really hasn't really come up a whole lot here. There's not a glaring weakness with the offense, and that's something I don't think as the season started and it was going, we're going, well, where's the wrinkle going to be? But 8 games in, this is just the offense.
Joel, next time out, you got to join us, okay, buddy?
Well, next time out, I'm going to be very, very far away.
Are you?
Next
I'm sorry.
Friday,
Yeah,
I'm
you
going to be
can't.
in Germany. Yeah.
God, I'm glad I don't have to do
and
that.
really next Thursday too. So
you're right.
I know we're about to hit a break, Joel, but it's interesting that you'll be a part of this, having made all these trips. But in four consecutive Sundays, it's going to have gone L.A., Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, Berlin. So coast to coast in the States, and then way overseas.
And then we get a bye week, and then we go right back on the road.
Yeah, man. Joel A. Erickson working hard for everybody right there. Joel of the Indy Star, Joel of First and Joel. And, Joe, we will catch you when it's a little bit more appropriate for you to join us on a Friday. Okay, brother?
Okay. I got to go get ready for trick-or-treating.
Go do it, buddy. Joel A. Erickson of the Star on this Halloween as we're live at the Slippery Noodle downtown. Bud Light Blue Friday. There's Chris Hagan right there. Look, are you going as Chris Ballard?
I should.
Patagonia?
You know, you, me, and him are all the same age.
We are.
All born in, he's July,
he was
December.
A neighbor and a friend of my best friend growing up in Kansas City.
That's awesome.
And once upon a time, he asked my best friend, Mike Pittman, why I was such a horse's ass.
And what'd your friend tell him?
He said, I don't know.
We've been trying to figure that out for a long time.
Figured that out since 1978. I have no idea. Hagan, JMV, we got calls on the other side of 239-1070. That address, if you want to go ahead and send us a text, 317-239-1070 as well. The haunted and legendary Slippery Noodle, Bud Light Blue Friday, Colts tickets to give away. I got a gift card from the Colts Pro Shop from Zinc with the best dressed, and Hagan's not it right here. I can flat guarantee you that. Quick break, we'll come back. The Colts Daily is coming up on the other side. Chris and I with your calls at 239-1070 coming up next.
With JMV.
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine. Shrieking skulls will shock your soul, seal your doom tonight.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
All right, this band from the state of Utah coming up tomorrow at the Murrah Old National Center, The Used. Number 9 at 239-1070 because we're all friends here. Go ahead and give that bad boy a shot right there and see what you think. The Used is a rock band from the state of Utah. And number 9 at 239-1070. We'll give that thing a go. Bud Light Blue Friday on Halloween 2025. Thank you for joining us, the legendarily haunted Slippery Noodle. Hey, Sean, you want to come over in a second? We got to get Sean over here, one of the owners here of the Slippery Noodle, too, and talk up Sean. Chris Hagan of Fox 59 is with us right now.
I honestly I had a dentist appointment. I forgot it was Halloween, and as I was driving down here, I saw all these people. I'm like, why is everybody dressed up? What's this guy wearing?
You forgot it was Halloween?
I go, oh, yeah, that's what happens when you get old. You forget.
So Halloween's not that meaningful to you any longer? Is that what you're suggesting?
But, I mean, do Blake and Laney still care about Halloween?
I think so, yeah. I think Blake had to dress up today. And so did Lane. Lane's had a couple of parties.
What were their costumes?
Laney, last year was Ferris Bueller for Laney. I don't know what. Oh, she went as Elton John this year.
Okay, then.
Yeah, Elton John.
My greatest costume ever, it was when the Lou Ferrigno Hulk TV series was out. And my mom got green paint, body paint.
That's nice.
And I went Incredible Hulk, and I made her cut off a pair of my pants, which, let's face it, they weren't very long in the first place, cut them off to the knees, and then I told her she had to cut up one of my shirts, and she said, I'm not cutting up one of your shirts, and I said, I'm not going to be Hulk then, because you got to have the ripped up. So I had a ripped up shirt, the cut off pants, but the only thing that wasn't accurate, I was a redheaded Hulk was my costume.
Well, in kind of similar to that problem you had with being the Hulk, I once upon a time, because that was a classic television show with Bill Bixby and Lou Ferrigno in the late 70s and early 80s. And I as well went as the Hulk. And if you remember, they had like inflatable muscles to wear.
I didn't need those. I was good the way it was.
I needed inflatable muscles, and I got them. Unfortunately, it looked like I had boobs. So, I mean, it wasn't like, man, you got these big chest muscles. It looked like I had a huge, really nice rack.
Chris Whitlock and I were looking yesterday. You remember the Halloween costumes? They'd be in the little box, and they had the plastic mask that had the elastic string on them.
Yeah.
And you'd go in there, and all you're looking for is Batman, but all they have is like the costumes nobody wanted. You couldn't find the Steve Austin or the Batman. So he told me one time he was the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Nothing wrong with that.
Who would want? I was Planet of the Apes one year. I had a cool Planet of the Ape mask.
Yeah, I know Planet of the Apes too. How about Ponch and John from Chips?
Yeah,
they had those masks as well, and you would just absolutely sweat like crazy inside one of those things.
You know, I think they had the problem with those suits would catch on fire if you just got near a heater.
Yeah,
the suits that were made out of the vinyl or whatever they were. But yeah, those were the days you'd go running into the store and like, okay, let's see what we have. Because, of course, my family would wait till the day before Halloween when all the costumes had been picked through. But, you make the most of it.
So Chris Hagan at Fox 59, and we got a Bud Light Blue Friday here to give away Colts tickets for you at the Slippery Noodle here. Halloween. Hey, by the way, we asked this a little bit earlier. Favorite horror film of all time? I don't know how much of a horror film.
Well, what's funny is I can tell you this. I heard you guys when I was coming in. And I'll tell you the old-time version of the story and then the recent version of the story that really makes me mad. My dad, when I was a little kid, I was like 9 years old, whatever, he was always gone. He goes, hey, don't watch that Halloween movie because he knew it was on HBO or whatever.
Right.
He said, don't watch it. Okay. So, of course, first thing I did was watch it. Scared for 20 years. Even when I hear that, do-do-do-do-do-do. So years later, fun fact, John Carpenter went to Western Kentucky.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so all those street names are streets in Bowling Green, Kentucky. So, but here's what really makes me mad. A couple weeks ago, the Colts are in L.A.
Yeah.
And I decided I love going to, like, movie scenes or whatever.
You and Jake Query are the same.
So I made Brett Bensley, who didn't want to go, I said, Brett, we're going to go see some sights. He goes, where are we going? And I said, we're going to Pee Wee Herman's house. his house from the movie. So we go to Pee Wee Herman's house, and I find out that very close to that is Doc Brown's house from Back to the Future. So we go see those. I said, we're going to go see the Rose Bowl. So we go, I make him do all that. And then we're home like 2 days, and this guy, Mr. Movie, he's always posting like pictures of himself at movie locations, and he's at Michael Myers' house.
Yeah.
And it says Pasadena, California, and that's where Pee Wee's house was. And Doc Brown. I'm like, let me look. That damn Michael Myers house, 0.9 miles away from Pee Wee's house.
Yes, Michael Myers.
Could have gone right by it. So I text Brett that, and he said, well, should we go back? So next year at the Super Bowl in L.A., I'm going to have myself a damn list of all these locations because I can't believe in October, the month of Halloween, I was that close to Michael Myers, the original house from the movie. And I did some research. They've actually turned it into a little museum, and they have all kind of stuff from the movie. So I blew it on that regard, but I did see Pee Wee's house.
I, once upon a time, went to the north side of Chicago and went to all the John Hughes film locations. So I went to Samantha Baker, 16 Candles, Molly Ringwald, and, well, I better not say this on there. I'll get in trouble for what I try to do.
The movie location guy.
Well, there was somebody next door laying in the yard, and you remember the whole Long Duck Dong?
Yeah, Long Duck Dong.
Yeah, it's very similar to that. So I went to that. I went to Jake Ryan's house.
Yeah.
Then Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I went to Cameron Fry's house where the Ferrari goes out of the back, and because it was right there, and this wasn't a John Hughes film, I went to Joel's home. That's Tom Cruise at Risky Business.
Yes, Glencoe
as well.
So I wanted to go to the Fast Times locations, but that's further away from L.A. The movie guy on his Instagram, he went to Brad and Stacey Hamilton's house.
Yeah.
And somehow he talked his way back to go back by the pool.
Well, Jake's been there too.
He's got a picture out by the pool.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is incredible. So yeah, that's for sure. Brett's going to hate to hear this, but I'm going to have a full list of things to do when we get out there. Not this year's Super Bowl, but next year's. We're going to do it because I know that's kind of nerdy, but I like doing stuff like like that in real life. Like I've been to Appomattox Courthouse, where General Lee surrendered for the Civil War. I've been to where the Civil War started. I've been to where Abe Lincoln was shot and killed. So I went to where Abe Lincoln was born. So, yeah, I like to go see historic places, even if it's real life or just stupid, like where Jake Ryan lived or Samantha Baker. I like stuff like that.
The film stuff, to me, is the absolute best. And, I mean, you can't go wrong with the north side of Chicago. I mean, hell, we didn't even go to where, the school was and Breakfast Club and all that stuff. But all that John Hughes stuff was filmed. The Home Alone house as well was another one up there.
Would you be – I went to the Breaking Bad house in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
And the lady hates it. She put up a fence around her house because people were walking up. I'm wondering, would you like to know that you lived in the if I lived in the Pee Wee Herman house?
If I lived in Jake Ryan's house, knowing what type of party he had there once upon a time, I'd be all.
It had the pizza on the. Somebody put a pizza on the turntable. The best part ever though is. Anthony Michael Hall is under the glass coffee table. You just see the eyeball. I heard you guys talking about scary music earlier. You heard you heard like some scary music, and then he clears everything, and you don't know the backstory of how he got under there. You just know he's under the coffee table.
I'm sorry. The best part is Anthony Michael Hall making martinis for he and Jake.
He's shaking them up.
When Jake Ryan said, I've got Caroline upstairs passed out, I could violate her like 25 different ways. He goes,
what are you waiting for?
Remember, he said, I'm looking for love. He goes, is it really that important? He spit that cherry pit out of his mouth.
He gets in the car. He gets in his dad's car. He waves him forward slowly, and he backs up. Whoa! Pulls it. Jake, is your dad a big man? About 6'4". Very nice. So yeah,
there's no way that Jake Ryan had his house cleaned up that quick either. So
it'd have to be
we're
like
not all about the whole.
It'd have to be like the
anymore.
Cat in the Hat, or like in Risky Business when they very quickly got the house cleaned up.
Would you swim in Crystal Lake, New Jersey? The backdrop of the original, the best Friday the 13th. Because I would.
Well, I would not. I
would swim in there because Kevin Bacon had his his little grape smugglers on.
You know your
demographic
very well, John, because we're talking about movies that are 50 years old.
What's that? Oh, yeah.
I said your demographic. We're talking about 50-year-old movies.
We probably should go ahead and shift gears here. You got Pacers Atlanta later on tonight. The Pacers, off to their worst start since 88-89. and those weren't great seasons. They win later on tonight. No Trae Young for the Hawks.
They need to, because we had talked about this.
Doubt, yeah.
They laid it all on the line a week ago in that overtime loss. And by the way, the Thunder are still undefeated, John. So we talked about how the schedule makers kind of screwed them over and going to send them on the road for 3 straight. And I had said a week ago today, I'm like, you hope they don't get off to a 1-3, 0-4 start. That's exactly what's happened. Got to get a win because next up, what do you got? The Warriors coming up?
The Warriors tomorrow, and then Miles and the Bucks
so,
on Monday.
I mean, what's the worst start ever? 0-7. I mean, you don't get tonight. I think you could be staring at that 0-7 once again.
It's been tougher than what obviously we thought because of the injuries. But you kind of look at that moment in Dallas the other night where, I mean, it's almost was working out as it did consistently in the postseason. And you get that kick out from Siakam and that wide open 3 for the win from Neesmith, who could not throw it in the ocean.
He had a horrible game, and that would have made it all right. I think he was 1 for 9 from 3, something like that, 2 for a million from the field.
He's brutal.
That makes it okay. You make that shot, but he immediately walked off the court because he knew, like, you got to make that shot, man. Why? Yeah. And that play never works.
Never.
Let's go ahead and miss it. We'll get it.
And that's kind of like what happened last year, too, in the playoffs.
You're hoping to get a tip and you just tie it up, but instead you get a wide open look to hit that 3 and you don't make it. And if you're a Pacer fan, you're hoping there won't be a lot of those because there were a lot of games that went the Pacers' way miraculously last year, and you're hoping there aren't a bunch that go against them this year, but so far it's been rough going.
Hey, Hagan, let's have somebody out there invite us to their Halloween party.
I'd love to do that.
Anybody out there have a Halloween party you want to invite Hagan and I to? You want to do that?
Yeah.
Would you go?
You'll go
dress like
we're both going.
Chris Ballard?
You're going as way in the past JMV, and I'm going as JMV from 2 years ago.
I can't believe you said Axl Rose. What the hell?
Well, you look like Axl Rose.
Don't. I'm going as 1992 JMV.
Looks like you had those pants in 1992 as well. You just got them out of the. Look how tight they are on your calf. What are you doing?
They're stonewashed and everything.
Yeah,
Look at my Guess watch right here.
I should have brought you a Swatch watch. I have a couple of those still.
Well, that's 1980s. Thanks. This is 1992, Hagan. Quick break. We'll come back. Slippery Noodle. It's legendarily haunted on a Bud Light Blue Friday. Your chance to win Colts tickets. And we don't have a lot of costumes right here, so I can't wait. Kev says I can go ahead and take this home, this Colts Pro Shop gift card right here. Thank you very much. What we're giving away. If anybody happens to have the best costume here, give it a chance. Sean is the owner. He's going to join us coming up. Hagan and I on the other side. We got time for your calls at 239-1070 as well. We would love to hear from you. The stream, the app, HD Radio. Don't go anywhere. We got more for you right here from the Slippery Noodle. Halloween 2025 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
JMV. 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Oh, it's slippery noodle. Windschuler spreadability. Original sharp cheddar, bacon and cheddar, jalapeno pepper, Meyer locations. Gordon's Food Service, too. Neiman's Harvest Market, the spreadability and elite level snacking of Windschuler's. Those locations, hopefully more as well. Thank you, fellas. Hagen, is this the best Halloween song of all time? Thank you, Ken.
It's on the Mount Rushmore.
Did you, like me, did you strive, did you work for the first time when it was released to see the first showing, the viewing, back in 1984, of the video thriller?
Oh, yeah, they hyped the hell out of that.
Were you captivated by Ola Ray and her smokiness like me?
Mark Goodman and Alan Hunter were hyping that up for the world premiere. What was it, like 18 minutes or something goofy? It was good.
Ola Ray was.
And then the next day you had to go ask everybody, did you see Thriller? Did you By the way, who did you like better?
You don't have the Thriller jacket, right?
Really?
I do. I got it from Merry-Go-Round. It's kind of melting right now.
You might have got your ass beat at Hewitt-Trussville High School if you came to school wearing that.
Well, because you guys are all hillbillies. That was cool.
No, it would we'd be like, who do you think you are?
What were you guys wearing?
Did you like Martha Quinn or Nina Blackwood better?
Probably Nina Blackwood because she was in Playboy.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah, she was.
I'm only going to find this out 40 years later.
Hey, James, look this up.
Was
Nina Blackwood in Playboy?
I don't think that's real.
I know every single chick that was ever in Playboy.
You know, Madonna was in Playboy.
Because I'm on the Mount Rushmore of self-gratifiers.
What's significance?
It's me.
I have the issue of Madonna in Playboy on the cover. Of what significance is that Playboy magazine?
Huh?
The one with Madonna on the cover.
Oh, I just
Playboy.
know the penthouse one where she had Harry Pitts.
What was the significant? It was the last issue that had staples in the centerfold.
Was it really?
They went stapleless after the Madonna issue.
Wasn't the penthouse one where we were all disappointed when we first saw it because it was a Harry Pitt issue?
Because these poor females trying to make it big to make some money, they take all these nude photos, and those guys would hang on to all of them in the hopes that one day these people would get famous, and they've signed these rights away, and so then you get embarrassed by it.
What's your favorite Playboy of all time?
I was at a car show in Baton Rouge one time. And I met this girl, I think her name was Lorraine Michaels. I think she was the centerfold. And she had 8x10s.
Of SNL?
What?
No, that's a Lorraine. Yeah,
Lorraine Michaels. Yeah, Lauren Michaels is the. So anyway, it was not nude pictures of Lauren Michaels. It was
Lorraine Newman is what I'm
Lorraine Michaels. And so I got she gave me an autographed picture, and she told me I was a real cutie. So I'm hoping we run across each other.
The Bo Dereks and the cornrows is by far the best of all time.
Yeah.
So, John.
Hey, James. Well, yes, go ahead, James.
So, according to Wikipedia, before entering broadcasting, Blackwood appeared nude in the August 1978 Playboy pictorial, The Girls in the Office.
See? Telling you.
How am I just now hearing
If you appeared nude in a magazine, I probably know you did. That's just the way that it is. I may not know much, but I know that.
Oh, here she is, Lorraine Michaels. She's 67 years old now. I may have a shot.
Let's take a break, come back. We're going to get Sean, the owner here of the Slippery Noodle downtown. You know what was haunted? Slippery Noodle's haunted on a Halloween Bud Light Blue Friday. I don't know about whatever hat she has on, but she is kind of smoke other than that. Hagen, JMV, we've got Colts tickets to give away and maybe a Colts Pro Shop gift card as well. We got 30 strong remaining, 239-1070. You guys with us on the other side, 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
This is Halloween, this is Halloween. Pumpkin scream in the dead of night.
93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Happy Halloween to you. Rockwell's not bad either. It's a Halloween song from 1984. Barry Gordy.
Barry Gordy.
Yeah.
How long did Michael Jackson spend in the studio doing that? Probably 10 minutes.
It made it, too.
It's looped. Without that, it's not a hit. You could tell if you listen to it, it's looped. He went in there and, what am I doing? Boom, boom, boom. See you later. Number one song, bye.
Same thing that Barry Gibb did back with songs in the day.
Yeah.
You just get in there and loop something really quick and make a hit out of it.
That's what you should do with all these commercials you do. Just go in there and bang, get a baba boom. Just like, hey, this is JMV, and I'm a real big fan of insert word here.
Well, what's Rockwell trying to do with that whole British English
that was stupid
thing working?
What was the other rapper that did that? You know what I'm talking about.
I don't.
I'll think of it during the break, or maybe I'll think of it at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Slick Rick?
And yeah, that's him.
Yeah, Slick Rick.
Why did he do that? Where was he from?
I thought Slick Rick was a lot better than Rockwell.
What is Rockwell's? I always loved this. Everybody that had one big hit in the 80s, they would at least do another video and have a second song. And usually that was, what was the Rockwell second song?
Nothing.
It was something to do with a phone and it had the beep, beep, beep. I'm going to look it up while you talk to the good people.
I don't think he had anything.
The good people.
That's Hagen. I'm JMV. Slippery Noodle. You know this place is haunted. Did you know that we have a Bud Light Blue Friday? Did you know you can win Colts tickets? Did you know we have... Hey, good to see you, Travis. Thanks for joining us. Hey, by the way, I should remind you guys before I forget, Twin Peaks in Greenwood coming up on Monday. Twin Peaks in Greenwood coming up on Monday, too.
Obscene Phone Caller. Check that out if you're out there, folks.
I'm sure that was outstanding.
If you're looking for more action from Rockwell, check out Obscene Phone Caller from 1984.
Halloween 2025 at 239-1070. We got to get Sean over here, too, from the Slippery Noodle before we bail. Come on over here, Sean, right now. Adam is up next. Hello, Adam. How are you?
Hey, John. Happy Halloween. How you doing?
Adam, great to hear from you.
Hey, I seen your little outfit. I just want to let you know we're getting the kiddos ready, and we're dressing up like the Mario Brothers.
Beautiful. Are you going to you need to have sound effects too, like you're walking around like Donkey Kong. Like that. You have sound effects ready?
No, we don't. And I'm just hoping that my old high school pulls off a win tonight, Eastbrook, and then hope the Colts mash all over Aaron Rodgers coming up this Sunday.
All over.
Oh my God!
You made Hagen spill his beer. That's funny.
And Notre Dame pulls off a win. Also tomorrow I turn 38, so I'm doing a 15-mile race tomorrow in the woods.
Cool. In the woods?
Yeah. Over here.
Why are you doing
Bluffton.
that? Why are you doing that, Adam? Come on, man.
Brother, you know me.
Running's punishment, man. Come on. Running's punishment.
Hey, it's a good way to celebrate my 38 years old, right?
All right, then.
Happy birthday to you, Adam, man. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you, brother.
You got it, man. 239-1070 is that number. You got the also, if you want to go ahead and dial it up at 317-239-1070, that is the text line with a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on. Somebody just said Adam sounds like Eli Manning. Did that see Adam sound like Eli Manning?
A little bit. I can hear it.
A little bit, too. Yeah. So, Hagen and Sean is here from the Slippery Noodle Band. How are things going?
Things are going great, man. I appreciate the
good
jumping
to
on
have
here.
you back.
Appreciate it.
Good to have you back. So the place is haunted.
Place is haunted.
Yeah, there's no
really
doubt
get
about
active
that.
on Halloween. So
are we expecting now the haunted, the ghosts, the specters, or whatever? They don't come down here, right? Do they stay upstairs or do they
kind
move
of everywhere.
around?
So
Do
in the back room, in the middle of the day, I'll hear footsteps on a pretty regular basis back there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love hearing footsteps.
I've had doors open and closed in the morning when I'm here early before anyone else is here, so it happens all hours of the day.
That might just be Marty Bacon, though.
It is.
Staggering through the building. It's
He said he was coming in early to get on here. So
well, I was thinking about going as Marty Bacon.
You look like him without the hair if you had the wig.
Well, I was going to get a big wig of hair.
That's all he's missing.
Yeah, and going to go. I got a big leather jacket I could wear that weighs more than I do, like he does too. I was thinking about going as Marty.
That'd be a great costume.
Yeah. So, what do you guys got planned tonight?
So tonight we have one of our favorite bands playing in the backstage. The King Bee and the Stingers, a good local band out of Bloomington. Some young folks that really put on a good show. So they are super fun. And then up here on the front stage is going to be Groove Time, if I remember correctly. So we have 2 great bands. It's going to be a good night. Lots of spirits out. Good drink specials going on with Bud Light. We got a couple Jaeger drinks on special tonight, so we're going to have lots of fun.
I bet you'll see some cool people in costumes, too. That's always got to be a fun time.
I'm excited about that. Did you notice our 2 servers? I forgot what they were?
I didn't know what they were. I was trying to figure it out.
They're the Louvre Bandits.
Oh, okay. I got you.
That's awesome. That's well
That's
done.
Berets on. They got the little yellow safety vest.
Yeah, I saw that. I was wondering what and then wearing the little French hat there. That's what that was. Okay, now I got it.
I didn't even get it at first.
I never thought I'd see as many people dressed up as FFA folks as I've seen in here.
That's a popular costume downtown.
It is. There's a lot of the FFA folks walking around.
Usually they have the state on the bottom there.
Ohio's right over there.
I saw a bunch of Mississippi people one year. I was so excited.
They've been great. They've been here all week. We've had tons of them since Wednesday. They've been awesome.
Do you find that when people come here, a lot of people when they visit here or come here, this is a place they feel like they have to come because it's got a reputation far and wide?
We hear that constantly. Folks walk in and they say, well, I've heard about this from so-and-so, or the bellman told me at this hotel, and we got here and we love this place. So it's just fun. And then they walk around and don't realize how big the place is.
Yeah. And I know the Combine will come here. A lot of NFL folks, this is a regular stop for them because if you're a first-timer or you come to visit the town a lot, this is a place you're going to come to at least once on your visit.
We hope so, definitely.
Hey, Sean, how many people come dressed on Halloween as Blues Brothers here?
You know what? Last year we didn't have a single person dressed as Blues
That's
Brothers.
shocking.
We had one Ghostbuster that did the Dan Aykroyd Ghostbuster. That was it.
Nice.
But I've not seen. But we do have a gentleman that comes here pretty regular, dressed as one of the Blues Brothers, just on a random Tuesday.
Oh, really? Okay.
Show up pretty regular in a Blues Brothers outfit.
Which one's the most popular, Aykroyd or Belushi? Blues Brother.
Belushi.
So I think Aykroyd's more talented at doing it than Belushi.
But Belushi was larger than life, and because he died so young, his legacy, I think, you have the longevity of the Aykroyd, but if you try to ask people who was more talented, who was more this, at the time of that, you would say Belushi. I think he was a much bigger star then, given the things he had been doing, and just, same thing with Chris Farley. Like, what would Chris Farley be doing now? Would he have lost a bunch of weight and just been, well, he's peaked a long time ago, but as is now, you just remember him as being super funny, much like Belushi.
Sean, the Slippery Noodle is here as well. Have you noticed an uptick in interest considering the Colts being off to a 7-1 start too?
Yep, this last Colts game was our biggest one yet. So we had a great crowd. It was awesome. People were really digging it. The first couple games of the year, once the game started, we would typically clear out pretty well. This last game, packed all through the game. So people are really digging it, getting out and enjoying the time.
I think people are recognizing now that this is legit.
Yeah, and what helped last week was it was a 4 o'clock. It was a later start.
Yep.
So you can come out here and pregame a lot longer than usually than you do. So maybe we should. I'll get Roger Goodell on the phone and we'll see about making all the Colts games at home at 4 o'clock for you.
I would appreciate that.
Do you like the 4 or 4:25? I do too. Like other people around seemingly don't like it, but I like it a great deal.
Yeah, and we've been blessed with great weather. So we've had that tailgate going on in our parking lots. We've had great weather for the last 3 games. People out there enjoying it outside, having a wonderful time. So we love seeing it. I'll see the city get behind everybody.
The other thing we love, Sean, is our friends from Zinc right here, too, that always just throw a great party and do a great job.
Yep.
Every single
time.
Love
those guys. They're the best partners in the world. We love them to death.
There's no doubt about that. And it was their forethought that came up with kind of switch. We weren't originally scheduled to be here, and they switched it because it's Halloween and because this place is haunted.
Yeah, you got to love it. Got to love the ghosts.
It is. There's nothing wrong with that as well. So what else you got coming up here? You got, obviously, everybody can watch the sports. You got World Series Game 6 tonight. You got the Pacers just not too far away.
Do the bands start at the same time, or do you start up on this stage and then the headliner, the Stinger?
King Bee and the Stinger. Yeah. So the front stage will start at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
The back stage will start at 8:45. So then they'll rotate throughout the night, so you'll have entertainment going all night long.
That's awesome.
We're real excited in December. We got a Christmas show coming up on December 21st with 2 fun bands that are going to do a Christmas show. So that's our first time doing that. So that's going to be real exciting for us.
Yeah, that sounds new and exciting.
So how long have you been in charge here, Sean?
We're just under 3 years. March will be 3 years.
That is has it matched? So let's just say, for example, what you thought it was going to be when you got into it. Has it matched it or surpassed it?
Probably surpassed it.
That's really.
And what I knew Hal for a long time. I started coming here in the early 90s, was good friends with Hal and Marty for years. Just the staff here has been wonderful. The good core group of staff that's been here. Smitty, the bartender's been here for 30 years. Marty's been here for 150 years, I think.
he's an original ghost.
Yeah,
Marty.
Our kitchen's been here. Most of the kitchen staff has been here for decades. So they're just a great core group that love this place. They work really hard, and they want to make sure the guests have a great experience. So it's been wonderful to work with them. I pinch myself walking in here every day because I spent so many nights in here just hanging out and drinking, and now to be a part of the team, I just absolutely love it.
And now you can just sleep here if you get.
I do. Feels like it.
We
got a little bed upstairs.
That's where you end up seeing the ghosts.
Yeah,
right?
because there was a lady of the night had to take somebody down up there. Is what I've heard.
There was two gentlemen that got in a fight over one young lady, and one killed the other guy, and then one of those young ladies got killed at one point in time. So there's a couple of those ghosts running around.
So how far back does this place go?
1850.
That's incredible.
Good gravy.
1850.
Right there.
Blows me away.
Yeah.
You could have had soldiers going to the Civil War, stopped and had a beer before they went to the Civil War to fight. Crazy to think about.
Well, and was this Dillinger in here too?
We still got the bullets. They're stuck in the wall in the back room there. The allegedly Dillinger's gang was back there shooting beer bottles. So, yeah. Lots of good nuggets.
Dillinger lived in Mooresville, I think.
Yeah.
Did he? Which is, all this stuff is absolutely incredible, knowing the legend of what these folks were.
Oh, yeah. So much fun stuff here. It's just, like I said, I pinch myself coming into work every day.
That old expression, if these walls could talk, you'd be like, wow, just the things, and just a different way it was. Like imagine if John had a time machine and he showed up back in 1860 dressed like this.
Can you imagine? I'd get my ass whipped in like 5 seconds. I go, what is this in your ear? What's that on your head? What's happening here?
Who's this spaceman here?
He's got the tightest pants of all time on right now. What in the world? What's happening? So anyway, all right, Sean, one more time, what you guys got going on tonight and this weekend here at the
Tonight we've
Slippery
got King Bee and the Stingers on the main stage, starting at 8:45, so lots of great Halloween fun here. So come on down, bring your costume. You get a no cover charge with a costume.
That's great.
Come on down.
That is awesome.
Well done. Hey, Sean, thank you. We love coming here, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Slippery Noodle is legendary and is haunted, and there's no place, a better place to go on Halloween than the Slippery Noodle. That is Sean right here. You can ask for Sean by name or say, hey, where's Marty Bacon? Marty's going to roll up in here at some point, I would guess, right, Hagan?
He told me 30 or 45 minutes, and that was about 30 or 45 minutes ago, so I don't know where the hell he
He'll
is.
come in and cuss us all out whenever we're off the air.
He'll be going, go, go, out.
That'll be good. You're done. All right, Hagan, we got some time left here as well. We got Pacers coming up later on tonight, searching for their first win. We got IU and Maryland coming up tomorrow as well. 3:30 is that kick out in College Park.
As we talked about earlier with the Colts, you know, before the season started, it was can they get back in the playoffs for the first time since 2020? Is Steichen's job on the line? What about Ballard? And now it's more like literally, I know we're not even halfway through the season, but people are talking about seeding and playoff positioning for the Colts. Same thing with IU. Now it's not a matter of, hey, was last season a fluke? It's, hey, they're going to play in the conference championship game right down the street. Can you imagine that? And then it's talk of, will they get a first-round bye? I mean, they were one and done last year in the playoffs, having to go up there on a cold night at South Bend. But, I mean, they're going to be positioned where they're going to be two games away for playing for the national championship in football. Can you imagine that?
So I'm thinking about this. You come from the world of hillbillies like Paul Feinbaum, who always – does not miss a chance at taking a shot at IU and their resume right now. Does he have a point regarding Alabama?
I know Alabama is really good, and they've been really good for a long time because they get really good players, and that's how it is. I think the good thing about the new playoffs is that obviously there are always going to be teams that, like, if the playoffs are 22 teams, it's going to be, well, you left out the wrong, you know. So I think I like the playoff format. I think enough teams get in. I know the first round you got a legit home field advantage, but I think it's to a point now where if a team's really good, they're going to prove it. And if a team kind of sucks and shouldn't be in the playoffs, they're going to prove that too. So I look forward to that, and I look forward. I think we're past the time now of like these conferences. The conferences are so big now. It's just a matter of you start comparing teams, and these teams flip the roster so quick every year that. You could have 50 new players into a program. It's, forget about what IU did last year with a different quarterback. You got a Heisman candidate now. This IU team has shown that it's really good, but who have they really beaten other than that, Oregon
They
game?
went on the road and won in Eugene.
That's what I'm saying. Other than that, what is your resume?
There's
what
no
is your
other
resume?
than that. That's legit. That legitimizes you
Right.
immediately.
They're 8-0, right?
Right.
So
how does that not legitimize
they have one really impressive. I'm on IU side. I think they're good.
No. But that's what impresses. And then all the other games, they've blown everybody out that they're supposed to, except grinding it out against Iowa.
And we talked about this with Don Fisher last week. That I think they need another close game, because when you get to the playoffs, you're going to have a game. Maybe you're down a field goal with 3 minutes to go, and if you haven't really been in that scenario, and really they weren't like that in Oregon. They didn't have a situation. I know Oregon pulled even with the pick 6, but they really haven't had any stressful moments in a game yet. And you think, who knows? Maybe they just beat the crap out of everybody and win the national championship. But I think you can shut up the Feinbaums of the world, and you go out there, and these best teams.
See, I don't think it's ever going to shut them up, though.
If they win the national championship,
I think it's always going to be the same old crap. Because it's grandfathered in the Southeastern Conference.
Why are you yelling at me?
I
was just saying.
It's always Alabama and Auburn and the SEC.
If IU wins the Big Ten, if they beat Ohio State and they beat Alabama and they beat whoever else along the way, you can't say anything about that, because in the modern day playoffs, you have to prove yourself. And that's what we saw last year. I think the two best teams got together, and the best team won the national championship.
It is pretty funny to see what happens especially during the season. I mean, LSU and Florida say, you know what, enough is enough. We got to move on right here. Man, they're not messing around.
Isn't that crazy? And that's the same thing in the NFL as far as, quarterbacks. They will cut bait on a young quarterback so fast that they will. It doesn't matter your resume either as a head coach. It doesn't matter what you've done. You're gone if you're not doing, because the arms race is so big now in college football, and the money what blows my mind is how they'll just pay these guys to go away, and how these deals are set up with Franklin and with Kelly. Just it makes no sense to me, that kind of money for the coaches. But now when you're paying all these players and the budgets you have, you invest all that money, they expect results instantly. And especially some of these quote-unquote blue blood programs, if they're not seeing it. I mean, if you're at Penn State and you're seeing IU doing what they're doing, if you're at LSU and you're seeing Ole Miss doing what they're doing, you're like, well, this is unacceptable.
That's Chris Hagan of Fox 59 with us. We're at Slippery Noodle on Halloween, Bud Light Blue Friday, too. I got a text message here, 317-239-1070. JMV and Hagan, I'm attending the game tonight. Do I go in a costume or rock the Pacers blue and gold? I think you go in a costume tonight, don't you? Halloween?
Well, it's just a matter of, depends on who you're sitting around. Because one time in 9th grade, I heard it was a costume party, and I showed up as Billy Idol with my red hair all spiked, and I had a tank top on and some leather gloves, and I go in there, I'm the only one who was dressed up. I felt like a complete jackass. So if you feel like people are going to be dressed up around you,
they will be.
Then do it.
Yeah.
Just, you don't want to feel like you stand out and also it's a good costume.
Yeah. So Pacers win their first tonight against Atlanta. No Trae Young. Again, your coverage begins right here, coming up at 6:30, 7 o'clock is the tip time. You go back-to-back, it's Golden State, and then you get Miles Turner and Milwaukee on Monday.
What do you expect? I heard a little bit coming in. What do you expect?
He's going to get his ass booed is what he's going to do. Because he's really he hasn't handled this well whatsoever.
Have they said anything about how they're going to video?
I don't think so.
No welcome party.
Anything, yeah.
And they also do the intro, the starting lineup. So the Pacers are a slight underdog tonight to try to fall to 0-5. So 2.5 point spread, home court.
Nobody coming back as far as we know yet, right? As far as injuries?
So you need to get that win today, because otherwise I think you're staring at 0-7 in the face.
You are in big time trouble. All right, World Series Game 6 tonight with the Jays up, obviously, in that best of 7, a chance to close it out on their home
and yet
field.
the Dodgers favored yet again, and with good reason. But the whole thing, and this is the Blue Jays' approach, they have tried to run the pitch count up on the starters because the Dodgers bullpen is absolute garbage. So if it's a matter of you had a starter, go the distance against them. If you get to that bullpen and the Dodgers aren't ahead, you can go ahead. If you want to make a nice end game bet, once you see a Dodger pitcher get to about 60, 70 pitches, if it's tied or the Blue Jays are winning, well, that's your end game bet. But Dodgers favored tonight. I'd like to see it go 7. I love 7-game series in any sport if my team's not involved. So we'll see. But the Blue Jays, man, when those bats get going, they're tough, and they'll be tough at home, and it'll be fun.
Well, they made some pitches. There's no doubt about that in game number 5 as well. Game 6 later on tonight at 8 o'clock. All right, Colts and Steelers. Is this going to be a different situation for the Colts in Pittsburgh on Sunday?
5 straight losses up there. 2008, the last time they won. You got to remember, like you say this in all sport, hey, you're not playing the stadium, you're not playing the jersey, you're playing the team. I don't think that Steeler team is very good, but they're a proud franchise, and so is Tomlin. They look like garbage in that second half the other night, and in prime time, I know it's embarrassing. So you'll see what version you get of them, and you're to the point now where the Colts are a marquee game for everybody. I like the Colts. I haven't made my official pick, John, but I'll tell you this. At the beginning of the season, I have this documented on videotape, if that's still a thing. Yeah. I said the Colts would win 10 games. Joel A. Erickson, our friend, said they'd only win 7.
I said 8.
And this year, every Colts game, not with the spread, just win or loss money, I have successfully predicted every Colts game, and this is going to be my toughest decision. I haven't officially made my pick yet.
I think it's easier now to know what they're going to do. Like, I feel good about them. 34-24 coming up on Sunday. I just think that their offense is way too good for the Steeler defense to handle.
And they're taking care of the football. Only 4 turnovers all season long. You can't have the game where you get the 3 picks or you put the ball on the ground. As long as and it's like a well-oiled machine. We talked about earlier, no 100-yard receiver yet. That's because you have so many weapons. Yeah. You spread the ball. And Jones has been doing that. The best he's been doing is from the minute he hears whatever he hears in his ear until the ball snapped. A lot goes into that. And the team has really bought in, and they're all very complimentary about, hey, he'll tell me during the week if we get this luck, if we get this look, we're doing this. So as long as I think the only team that can beat the Colts on Sunday is the Colts.
So Windshielder Spreadability, you can find at Meyer Location, Gordon Food Service, Neiman's in Carmel, Harvest Market as well. We're talking original sharp cheddar, bacon, and cheddar, and jalapeno pepper. If you want an elite-level snack, and our friends from Win Schuler's provide that for you. Win Schuler's in your favorite grocer's refrigerator today. All right, so if you're going out trick-or-treating tonight, which you won't because you're way too old,
I'm short enough,
what are you looking for in the
old.
Bag right there?
They'll be like, look at that little kid with the old man mask he's wearing. Are you asking me for my favorite candies?
I'm just curious.
Well, as a kid, I would love if some people gave out the full-size candy bars. Did you ever have somebody in the neighborhood that gave out the full-size candy bars?
It was all fun size.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Snickers guy. I like the Snickers. I like the Reese's Cup. And this is a sad step. When I was a kid and I'd go trick-or-treating, was it like this with you? Your mom would just say, all right, come back when you're done. And we would just leave with like a group of like 5 or 6 kids and walk 3 miles at nighttime. Yeah. It had to be Halloween night.
Yeah.
No adults, no nothing. We were just, some houses you'd be kind of like, do we want to go to this one? Yeah, let's just go and see what happens. And somehow we always made it back safe. But my mom would always dump out the bag, and she'd have to give the okay and sign off on all the candy.
When you got that stuff that were like Tootsie Rolls and stuff, was that disappointing?
No, I liked the Tootsie Roll. I didn't like the candy corn. That's going straight in the garbage.
Yeah.
Didn't like the candy corn. Didn't like those orange circus peanuts. You remember those?
No, I don't like those too. Garbage. I don't like the orange slices either.
I like the chocolate. Bit of honey, popular favorite.
It's always got to be chocolate. Yeah. You don't want any suckers. You don't want any of the sweethearts. You don't want any of that bull crap, the sweet tarts.
I don't want toothpaste or a toothbrush.
Give me some chocolate. What if they gave you a payday? Would you be pissy?
I'd handle it. What about the Marathon? You remember the Marathon candy bar?
The Marathon, too. Stuff. What if they gave you a slow poke on a stick?
I don't know what that means. I'm not sure I want to. All right, John.
Hagen, what do you got on Sunday?
Blue Zone, 11:30 Sunday morning, CBS 4. The game on CBS 4 at 1. And overtime with JMV, 10:35 Fox.
Cannot wait for that, too, Dev. On-site engineer, thank you, brother. Kevin and Alicia, you guys in promotions, awesome. Bud Light and Zinc, thank you very much on a Bud Light Blue Friday. It continues with Colts Happy Hour coming up on the other side. We'll be right here as well after that. Pacers and the Hawks from Gainbridge Fieldhouse. Have a great Halloween. We're back with you with Colts Happy Hour next. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan. Sit tight.